Hi, I'm Melanie.
And I'm Lizzie, and you're listening to
The
The Book Fairies.
How are you?
I'm good.
You're good.
I was just thinking about what books we could talk about for the intro, and then I remembered that I finished My Lovely Wife this weekend.
Oh, you
and
did?
It was so good.
I know you were talking about it a ton on Twitter, and man, I am so jealous that you got through a book. I haven't been able to get through any books at all.
It's because the chapters are very short, and also they have little things in between. So you have little. I thought I had to sneeze. Sorry. You have little chapters, and then there's little separations in between.
You mean they're point breaks or transitions?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love those in a book.
I'm just the worst with explaining stuff.
No, you're fine. No, I'm the same way though. I love chapters that are not super long and that there are little transitions in between, because it gives the reader a moment to breathe. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I was talking to Leia, the writer of Goddess of Limbo, and we were talking about how I'm the kind of reader that I read series. I like to read series. Long novels or really long books, and you like to read short books.
Yeah, exactly. It's more so the chapters. I found out that My Lovely Wife has 20 pages less than One Last Stop.
Oh.
And One Last Stop I took way longer than with My Lovely Wife, and that's because of the chapters. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what? This is almost the same length of book. I didn't expect that.
I also think another thing that affects it is the content. Sometimes if it's more exciting, it's hard to put a book down, especially if it's hitting you in the right way. And there's nothing against One Last Stop. It's a good book, but I haven't finished it yet. Like I said, I haven't finished any books that I was supposed to finish this. I started reading a bunch, but have I finished them? No, I haven't finished. But I plan to.
I know that feeling, though.
Yeah, I plan to. I've got another couple days to read.
Which one are you gonna read first?
Well, I'm finishing up. Yeah, I'm finishing up The Goddess of Limbo because I'm just really into it right now, and it's very character driven, which I'm super about. So I think I should finish that within the next day or two, because it's a chunky boy. It's almost 800 pages or something. It's a chunky one. And then after that I don't really know. I'm gonna have a hard time. I'm gonna have such a hard time figuring out which one to finish next. Probably One Last Stop, because it's the one I'm closest to finishing. And then I need to read.
That's easy then. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I need to read A Layer of Bones.
And the one with the serpent with the skull on it.
Oh yeah, that one's for next month. It's supposed to be a spooky book. So I'm going to try to read that one. I feel like I've picked up a couple spooky books for next month, so I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah. Good start of the spooky season.
Yeah.
But whenever you finish a book, do you also find it really hard to find what book to read next? Because you have 10 books that you want to read, but then you don't know which one to start first. So you kind of just dip into some of them and then go back to some.
I always do that. That's why I read several books at a time, because I need to be in a certain mood to read a certain book. I'm definitely a mood reader. I'm not the kind of person that can be oh, next on my list is this. And if it's polar opposite to what I'm into at that moment, I just can't get into it. Then it's just going to take me forever to kind of consume it. So, so definitely I'm a mood reader.
Same.
Gotta dip my toe into each one before I choose.
Yeah, and some just hit the right notes.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah, and I think that that kind of comes back to our topic today.
Whoop whoop, here are our bookish origins.
Woohoo!
Welcome to this episode where we go talk about that. And yeah, Melanie, you go right ahead with saying what books you got into when you were a teenager.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. The very first book I read was called like as a teenager, one that really hit me. It has nothing to do with any of the genres that I'm in now. It just was a book that I really loved, and I think the reason why is because it was about a boy. Okay, first of all, it's called Dear Mr. Henshaw, and it was about a boy who is writing to his favorite author, and he's kind of like in those letters talking and describing his life and like what he's about and stuff. And I don't know why, but that book always like is like very dear to my heart as one of the first books that I really like, that got me really into reading, and you know, just the process of being an author and like having that love for writing. And then after that, I probably didn't read for a while. I think I've read like small books like Goosebumps and like little mystery books and stuff. I think that was sort of like a passing fancy for me. And then, of course, I got into Harry Potter. And
Harry Potter in the house.
It's hard because like I want to talk about Harry Potter, but I also do not want to promote J.K. Rowling. So like, let me express to anybody that's listening to this, like, I am not a J.K. Rowling stan person. I fucking hate her.
In this universe, Daniel Radcliffe wrote the book.
Yeah, I was listening to like a I do this before bed all the time. I listen to like tarot readings from other people on YouTube because it's soothing and it puts me to sleep. It's like, yes, tell me how my life is gonna be better. But yeah, like it puts me to sleep. And the girl that I was listening to, she was talking about how like J.K. Rowling doesn't own Hogwarts, like we own Hogwarts. And in a way, I kind of agree, just because of how big it got and how many like people it touched. But she wrote it, and like I just have like a love-hate situation with that, because it was such a primary part of my childhood, reading those books. I was obsessed. When I say I was obsessed with Harry Potter. Yeah. So it's hard, but yeah, definitely read those. Mm-hmm. Those were a huge part of my life. And then another series that I got really into was the Sort of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. You'll probably see a lot of posts with his books. I just was a huge fan of his. He's an amazing writer. It's very like high fantasy. So yeah, my origins are definitely like fantasy based. Like I love super fantasy books. And I also love like witchy books. Like I think I read like the Secret Circle series, which is all about like witches and stuff. They had like a very short like TV show where it was based off of, but it didn't really go anywhere, and it wasn't that great.
I never heard of it.
I think it's the same writer, if I remember correctly, it's been a while. The same writer that wrote Vampire Diaries. I think.
Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, like the show, The Vampire Diaries.
Is that also with two guys and a girl? Yep. Where they fight over the girl?
Yeah, love triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Damien, the hot one. I was into him.
I literally have never seen anything. I've kind of heard about it, but that's it.
It's an okay show. I think it definitely got kind of strange. But yeah, after reading that, I sort of really got into like just TV shows and stuff, and I stopped reading for a really long time, and I would only read maybe one novel every few years. You know, it was and I would always get really irritated because I have like this want to read a certain kind of book and I could never find it. You know, I want to say that you know, I definitely read some really good books throughout the time where I was only reading like a couple novels here and there. Like I read Margaret Atwood's what was it called, the what is it called, the Handmaiden's Tale. There we go. I kept thinking Bridemaid, and I was like, no, that's the wrong term. Yeah, The Handmaid's Tale, that was really good. Various ones I'm probably going to forget which ones exactly. But I think the series that really pulled me back into reading, I'm repping the shirt from it right now. It's called the Savior's Champion. Shout out to Jana Moresi. Woohoo! Thank you for writing such an awesome story and getting me back into writing and reading. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it oh man, I was just blown away by how good this series is, and I can't wait. She's working on the 3rd and the 4th currently. The first and second are out, so it's the Savior's Champion, and then there's also the Savior's Sister, which is from the Savior's perspective. I don't want to give anything away, and I don't really want to say too much about it because I want to have a whole episode dedicated to this series because I love it so much. But yeah, so that's mine.
I gotta get started on that so we can do the episode.
Yeah, for sure. But no pressure. I'm sure you will eventually. But I've talked too much. You tell me about your bookish origins.
I think I kind of grew up reading books because I remember that we had subscription to the library. So we went, I think, almost every weekend or every other weekend or something. We went a lot to the library.
That's awesome.
And so, I've rented or I loaned a lot of books in my life. Mm-hmm. It was really fun. It's just really chill and cozy there and stuff. And yeah, I remember one book in particular was called Min of meer een zeemermin. I think it's kind of more or less a mermaid, I think, in English.
Yeah.
It's by, I wrote it down, Liz Kessler. And it's basically about a girl who has to have swimming lessons for school. But then once she's in the water, she kind of freaks out because her feet stuck together and stuff. And so she gets a tail.
Nice!
And that's when she finds out she's a mermaid. And turns out her mother banged a mermaid.
Oh, mommy!
Get that tail!
Literally.
But yeah, then she finds out her dad's a mermaid, and then she goes swimming in the sea a lot because they live near the sea, and then she finds her dad and stuff. So that's fun. Also, another one was Rowan by Henk Hoosfeld. I don't think there's translation for it, but it's about a guy who lives in the Middle Ages, and he finds out the entire village is kind of fucked up from the plague. So he kind of goes traveling around, and I remember people calling him a heretic. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't really know why. Actually, it's been a long time, but it was really fun to read about him just kind of traveling everywhere and stuff, and in the middle of the plague.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever read anything about... Oh, that's not true. In the Sword of Truth series, there was a plague that happened, but it was in a fantasy setting. Anyways.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, and now you're living one, so...
Isn't that insane? You grow up, and as a kid, you wonder about those things, and then suddenly as an adult,
boom,
we're literally in one. We're literally in a plague right now.
I just keep thinking every time about what Dwight said in the office when they were walking in a crowd of people, and he said,
we need a new plague.
Oh,
he cursed us all. It was all Dwight. Dwight Schrute.
Dwight.
I could probably talk about The Office for days.
I remember in high school, in our Dutch class, we had in the back a kind of library. It was just a wall with some kasten, wardrobes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with loads of books. And that's where I found my 2 favorite book series, actually. The first one, I think... Well, I don't know. It doesn't really matter anyways. But I've got all my books here. And this is one of the series that was my favorite.
Oh my gosh.
You can't see it, but...
Oh my gosh.
It's 9 books.
Wow.
And it's called Maaike and Domenico by Susanne Wittpenning. And she's originally German. So the original title is Maya und Domenico.
So it's like and?
Yeah.
I dated a guy named Domenico once.
Oh really? That's cool. He's originally from Sicilia.
Oh.
Sicilia? So yeah, and they meet in Germany because he's kind of a new student in the school, and he's very mysterious, of course. And Maaike, the main character, she gets really interested in him and wants to find out why he's so mysterious and stuff. And yeah, he has a junkie brother, a twin brother, and so she mistakes him sometimes for him in the beginning, which is funny. And their mother is, I think, she's a sex worker for money.
Whoa,
and
that's
so
pretty
he has
deep.
a really tough he has a really tough childhood. His dad dipped, or he was never there. Yeah, it's just really tough for him, and so he's got like this super scarred life.
Wow.
And you can really find that back. No, you can really see that throughout the books and how he is and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's really interesting. So it's a love story or a romance, but it has really kind of heavy subjects in it too.
How old were you when you started this series?
Oh, I don't know. I think between 14 and 16.
Wow.
I think 14.
Yeah. I feel like that's a very impressionable age and very heavy subjects. So like that's awesome. It's probably why, I don't know, I just feel like books are so good for kids that age, because it brings such a wide variety of like difficult things that they've never experienced, but they can understand how someone that goes through that trauma, is feeling, and helps them. Exactly. Yeah. That's awesome.
And then the other book series that I really love, and that I also found out in the back of that classroom, is Travaganza. And it's by Mary Hoffman. And it's so cool. I love this series so much.
What's that one about?
And the covers is the covers are awesome because they kind of shine. They're about parallel universe.
Ooh.
So it starts kind of in the normal world for us in London, and the main character gets a notebook from his dad, and he has cancer, and then when he falls asleep he turned up in Bellezza, which is Venice, but then in the parallel world.
Whoa. Okay.
So yeah, that's like such an awesome idea.
I love parallel universes.
Yeah. Same. And it's really cool because they don't have a shadow there.
Yeah.
There's this rich family in the parallel universe that is going after the secret of traveling.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out like how it's happening. Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always like that. There's always some bitch trying to figure it out to ruin it for everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I have 3 here, but it's 6 or 7 books, and I have them all, but I lent them out to someone somewhere, and I don't know. I have no idea where they're at.
I was gonna say I've moved around so often, and I gave a lot of my books to my younger sister Tabitha. So like I don't actually have the full series of like the Terry Goodkind set. Like I only have like the last 4 or something, and I had the first one, but I don't know where it went. It's awesome that you still have it. Like I've moved around too many times in my life, so
that's how it goes, right? You have stuff, it got lost.
With me, yes. I forget where everything is. Life. I forget where I am sometimes.
Same. I also forget why I'm there all the time. Yeah. I'll just walk into a room and then I'm like, wait.
I know.
But that's called Sim syndrome or something like that. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Because then someone cancelled your task.
Yeah. Something else I really got into when I was younger that sort of fed into my like love for stories and reading and writing was for a very long time I was into manga and anime. So I would just I would just consume manga like crazy. My favorite series from manga was called Wallflower. It was about this girl who, well, actually it's about these 4 guys that need a place to stay, and they find an ad or something like that that says, "Oh, you can stay in my mansion as long as you help my daughter turn into a lady." Like make her into a lady. And the guys are like, "Yeah, this is going to be a piece of cake. It'll be fine." So they get to the mansion and they realize that this girl, I think that you pronounce it Sunoku, she's like the epitome of a goth person. Like the absolute essence of a antisocial goth person, and she fucking hates them. Like it's so funny. She calls them the creatures of the light because she hates them so much. She's like, these creatures from, and when you see her at first, she just looks like the girl from The Ring because she's got her hair like in her face, and it's just this awesome story about how they kind of like break her out of her shell, but she's really into like all these dark things. Like her friends in her room are like a skull and like, a voodoo doll or something. You know what I mean? Like she's just very dark, and like she hates boys. She hates people. She hates being outside. She's just not a lady.
Of course.
So it's really fun. That was my favorite, like my whole, like, I tried watching the anime, but it was awful.
Oh, I've only read one manga, which was called Marmalade. And that was just 2 sets of families, and the kids became friends, and the parents divorced, but then like the parents who got divorced got together.
They reverse Uno'd it.
They did a switcheroo on their marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
So that was awkward and stuff.
That's hilarious. Yeah, anime and manga have a tendency of being like super weird.
Crazy.
Yeah. The last manga that I purchased was for my sister's daughter, and it was called like something like The Witch's House or something. And man, that book is full of like death and like if you're into like scary anime manga, like definitely pick that book up or that series up. I think it's called The Witch's House. The main character is savage as fuck. Like that's all I have to say. She's just crazy savage. And it's very spooky, very gothy. So yeah, I could talk about anime like all day because I love anime.
Okay.
But keep going.
I've never really got it. I never really kind of.
It's not everybody's
cool,
cup of tea.
I'm just not. Yeah, exactly.
It's not everybody's cup of tea, and like I only watch very particular kinds of anime. So like, people that are really into anime will watch everything. And they have watched everything because it's like they just need it. For me, it's like I need to make sure that it's the kind of anime that I will not get bored with because I, like books, get bored very easily. And I'm very picky, so.
I kind of want to read Kiki Delivery Service,
though. You should.
I think that's...
No, you should. The movie is so cute. There's some really wholesome like animes, like for example, like Fruits Basket. I read the whole series and then I watched it. Fruits Basket is so cute. It's about this girl who befriends the signs of the zodiac. Or not, the signs of the Chinese zodiac. She befriends them and they're like actual people that turn into like their sign, and it's really cute. And then like she's friends with the cat, and the cat was supposed to be part of the Chinese zodiac, but they kicked them out. So I don't know, tortured soul, like misfit. I'm like, I love him.
I was actually wondering, did you go to the library a lot, or when you were younger, or was it bookstores mainly?
That's
or is that a hard question?
It's a hard question. Like I stated before, like I moved around a lot, and also like, I feel like growing up, we were really poor and we lived in like a very podunk, I don't know if you know what that means, but it was like a very podunk area. So I didn't
like
really,
wrong side of the tracks.
yeah, basically.
Something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Like I just grew up very poor, and I don't really remember getting books. If we did, it was like maybe once or twice. Yeah, now as an adult, like going to the library, taking Kaylin, renting books and that kind of thing is very like something I love to do. But when I was younger, it wasn't something that that I didn't even realize that you could do that. There was a place where you could go to like get books until I was much older. In Holland, I did it a lot. Like when I lived in the Netherlands.
Okay. Oh no, but it's cool that you went sometimes.
Yeah, like once I figured out that there was a place where like stories existed and I could bring it home and then bring it back. Oh yeah, I was on that. I was so on that. Like that's like probably where I got a lot of like my Goosebumps books and like all the mystery books that I read. I feel like that was when I lived in the Netherlands, and I read them all in Dutch too. So, just like with Harry Potter, I read the first like 5 books in Dutch.
So you got all that Hermeline shit.
Oh my gosh, Hermeline and Vamel instead of Weasley. Yeah, dude, it was so confusing. Like opening the English version and like seeing all the different names. I was like, I was upset at the English version, and because I was like, it's not what I'm used to. What the fuck?
Yeah. That must be hard to kind of turn your head around.
Yeah, I don't understand the need for like the change of things. Like they should have just kept it the same name. And this,
it's so weird.
Yeah, it's like
it's normally sorry.
Just got hot. I got overheated.
Yeah, same.
I'm too passionate about this. Stop changing names in books. Stop it.
Stop it, or
just because it's
Melanie
a different language. You don't need to change the name if it's in another language.
No. I've read some Dutch translated books. I think we've talked about this before.
Probably.
But there they didn't change the name, so I'm just kind of confused why they did it for Harry Potter. Maybe it's because it's a child book.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Right?
I don't know, to be honest with you. But I was talking to Leia, the author of Goddess of Limbo. I'm plugging her in a lot today.
You're just like, ooh, I've got so many writer friends.
I'm not gonna tell her that we're talking about her until like it airs, and I'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, like you're in this episode.
Just say nothing. Find out if she listens to us.
She does. Like I know her and her wife listen to us. Like oh my gosh, her wife sent me the nicest like compliment on my short story. And I literally like could feel myself like blushing, and like it was just so nice. Like I don't know, anybody saying anything about my writing that's like positive just makes me feel so good.
It's just so cool when people are nice and give compliments.
Right, exactly. But yeah, there's this part in her book where her character is speaking another language, but she's speaking it like in a broken way. And it's really clever, I think, the way that she does it, because it's like, it's English. It's a different language, but she's writing it English. And the character's perspective that we're in, she's saying words that like in English that are broken. And like, for me, I'm like, I get that she's speaking this other language, but she's not speaking it well. You know what I mean?
Oh, so it's as if they're speaking broken English.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's a hard concept for people that don't know multiple languages, unless they really get it, Because like me, coming back to America after living in the Netherlands for so long, I kind of spoke in a broken English way because I was so used to speaking Dutch. And then vice versa.
So you kind of had...
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, yeah.
So you had very, very Dutch accent.
Yeah, I had a British accent. Like, I don't think it was like a typical Dutch accent. It sounded more British.
That's funny.
And I was slow. Like, I was very slow at speaking English because English is a fast language.
But Dutch is too, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I speak faster Dutch than I speak English.
Yeah, because...
maybe that's just because that's my first language.
Yeah, exactly. That's like your native tongue. Like, I've known English, and I speak in English, like, spoken English.
Speaking in English.
I speak in English most of my life, but, you know, during the time where I lived in the Netherlands, like, I feel like Dutch was, like, my primary... You know, I only spoke English when I was at home. And even then, most of the time, I had friends and stuff that I would still speak Dutch to. So it was really weird coming back to America. And, like, it's a fast language. Like, I was not able to keep up. And my cousin would make fun of me. He would make fun of me because of how, like, slow my English was. What I'm saying is, like, it's clever when writers find a way to do that, to kind of incorporate that without having to come up with, like, a fake language, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're so good at remembering where you were. I was already...
I'm just
forgotten what we were talking about.
No, usually I do too, but I'm like, to bring it back around.
Hey, going full circle is what they call it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of how it was in the My Lovely Wife too. It kind of went full circle.
Oh, tell me. I kind of want to know what that one's about.
Oh, so I was kind of right when we were recording that Friday the 13th episode. It's a husband and wife. We don't know the name of the husband because they have given him kind of a fake identity to kind of scout girls to murder.
Whoa, okay.
So he's Tobias the deaf guy when he's speaking to girls that they are gonna potentially kill. And so yeah, we don't know his real name. And then the wife's name is Millicent. And the first time I read that name, I was like, what the fuck?
Millicent, yeah.
Like
my immediate thought would be like name. Maleficent, but it's Millicent.
Millicent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just kind of trying to find how to say it without giving spoilers.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's okay.
Okay, basically how it all started is Millicent has a sister called Holly, and she tortured her a lot in a childhood. So then Holly was tried for murder, but she was young, so she was kept in a
she tortured. She tortured. Sorry, I'm like. She tortured her sister and killed her sister?
No, she tortured her sister, and then one time they were driving in the car, and Holly she bumped into a wall trying to kill Millicent.
Whoa.
And that's when she was tried for murder, and then she was put in a mental facility, and so she stayed there for a couple of years. She tells that to her husband, and the husband is like, what the fuck? She's so awful. And then when she got released, I don't know if this is too big of a spoiler, I don't know, I'm sorry if it is. I don't think it's like not even half of the book yet.
That's okay. Yeah, it's just like her, it's like still. The character's origins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so they kill Holly because she was a threat, and that's kind of how they started killing people, and then it kind of became a game, and they're gonna no, let's not talk about this anymore, because I don't want to tell spoilers.
It's alright. I don't want to. We'll wait for it. We'll wait for it for next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you read it, when you read it, I don't know if you want to.
I do want to read it.
Okay.
I do want to read it.
It's really cool, and like it kind of gets out of hand
right away
about the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty fast paced, I think, and you learn a lot. But the story kind of starts out pretty mellow, but then at the end it kind of rolls off the hill, and then the end's like and then
shots fired.
Oh yeah, there's no shots involved. Oh wait, no, shush. Forget this happened.
Forget everything you guys heard. Just forget it all.
Just forget everything. Just read the book, then come back, tell us that you've read it so we can talk about it with spoilers.
Yes, please.
On Goodreads, I updated a lot when I was reading My Lovely Wife. And then one of my friends on there, Steph, I think, she commented on my review saying that she was really excited to read it, but then was curious for my review at first, and I thought that was like really cool. I think that you waited for my review to start reading it.
I actually think that makes sense though, because I feel like you're a very honest person, and I think that you have really good taste in books. Like, I'm not just saying that. I just think that you have very good taste in books, and I think that, you know, for me, like, when you're telling me that I'll like a book, I already know when I open it, I'm gonna enjoy it. So if you give a good review, like, it means a lot.
Okay. Well, that's nice to hear.
It's just true.
I don't know. I just kind of find books. Goodreads is so good at finding good books.
I need to use it more.
Because I find a lot of them there.
Yeah.
Which the ones that I read a lot, so.
You know, I do have to say, I want to say something really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just because, you know, like, I'm writing a book, and I'm talking to a lot of authors lately, and sometimes, you know, a book can get a really bad review.
Yeah.
And, you know, the thing is, like, I don't know why, but it always just kind of comes back to me, like, if you don't like something, or if you're going to say something mean, just don't say anything at all. Like, you can, like, if you honestly need to review it, okay, but, like, maybe don't tag the author, you know, because they see it.
Yeah.
And, like, just for everyone that reads, like, we're people, and negative reviews, you know, it's important for us to know what you didn't like about it, but at the same time, sorry, I'm going to look at my camera while I'm saying that. At the same time, it's very important for you guys to know that, like, there is someone else on the opposite end of the screen that's reading what you're saying, and it can be really hurtful. Like, if you are trying to become like a world-renowned reviewer, I get it, but just, you know, think about the words that you use and try not to be so intensely mean.
Just spread love.
Yeah.
Spread love, y'all.
Yeah, like
I mean, there's a difference between bad reviews and, like, good bad reviews.
Yeah.
Because some books are just, like, shit written.
Yeah.
They're
not well written.
The writing style is... No, yeah, it's just not well written. And so then there's a reason for it to get a bad review. But if you just don't like the story, then just dip out. Because, yeah, it's just not for you. And then it has nothing to do with the way the story is made, but it's just your style.
Yeah, your perspective, your style, right.
Yeah.
Like, just DNF it, you know? Like, just don't finish it. Don't finish it.
Yeah, you said it right.
Yeah.
At first, I was, in the beginning, I was so confused what DNF was, because I saw that a lot on Goodreads. I was like, what are you DNFing?
I had to ask you.
I googled it.
I had to ask too. It's just hard, you know, like, I'm already prepared for, like, negative reviews for my book. Like, I'm prepared for it, but, like, I just hope that people understand that, like, you know, a lot of hard work and dedication go into these books, even if they're badly written. So, like, just be careful, like unless you just want to be an asshole for being an asshole's sake, okay. Fine, I guess.
It's also sometimes you'll find a really bad book and then they have great reviews, and so you're like, how did this happen?
No,
but then I don't know.
Oh man, I feel bad. You know, I've definitely picked up a book. You know, I've picked up a book and I was like, hey, I just can't get into this, or it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like, if they're asking me to review it and to give my, like, honest opinion, I can imagine just saying this is just not my cup of tea, or I couldn't get into it because of the way that it was written. I'm not going to sit there and spend like 2 hours reviewing a book that I didn't like. You're putting so much energy into this and it turns out to be hateful. Like, you're not their beta reader. You're not their critique partner. There's no need for you to tell them, like, it's already out in the world. You don't need to tell them that it's shit. You don't need to do it. It's in the world. They can't change it. Anyways, that's just my cup of tea today. Actually,
that was your rant. Your rant of the day.
That's
your cup of wine.
My glass of wine over here.
Or your 2 cents. Right? That's another saying.
Yeah, 2 cents. Only 2. 1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cents. If you have more to say, then do you say it's 4 cents?
No. I don't know why. I don't understand some of these like American or like these like weird what do you even call them? Like
sayings?
Sayings.
Sleep.
What is it called? I don't even know what it's called.
I think it's sayings.
Yeah, little sayings.
Although I'm not an expert on the language of English, so
yeah,
not even on the language on the Dutch language.
I think it's also just because we speak 2 different languages that sometimes we get like mixed up. Yeah. And also, neurodivergent people have a hard time, anyways, with like communication.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel it.
I found that also out today or yesterday that people always talk about how people are non-verbal and stuff and are like super intelligent and have super hard words and stuff, but I'm just like, words, what are they?
Same.
I don't know. And I just talk your ear off with broken sentences, just like this podcast is a prime example for that.
I don't think you sound like you're speaking in broken English. I think that you, as a neurodivergent person and also as a very sensitive person, like that you think that you don't sound like you're speaking well, but you are.
It's such a mess here in my head. And it's like,
it's just not. Like, you sound so good. I hope you keep this in the podcast because it's important for you to recognize that like you're speaking another language that's not your mother language on a podcast, and like I don't know, you just sound really good. You sound awesome.
Thank you. Okay. Well, okay. That's great. But that's also maybe because you understand my head.
We're in sync, you and I.
Yeah. We're on the same frequency.
Ooh.
So that's also maybe why for you it's easily understandable, or more easy to understand.
You never come off in any way that makes me go what, unless you say a Dutch word that I'm like, I have no idea what that means, because that's my I mean, like, I know Dutch, I can speak it to a point, but like I said, like, it would be really funny to do an episode where we just like where we speak Dutch, but I would probably be like you, like just completely dreading it.
Aww.
Every other sentence would be like, hoe zeg je dat?
Oh ja, wat is dat ook hoor?
Hoe zeg je dat ook alweer? Wat is dat dan?
Or you'll just be like, how is that? Or how do you say that?
Yeah, exactly.
You'll just switch to English.
Yeah, I'll just be like, wait, whoa, I'm trying to say this, and then you'll be like, oh, you say it like this, and I'll be like, oh, okay, and then I'll try again with my broken Dutch.
That would be so funny how it's just like the tables are turned.
I think it would be fair. You know what I mean?
It would be funny. It would not be fair to the listeners though, because I don't think anyone is Dutch who is listening to it.
There are a couple people that are Dutch, but what we could do is we could have it as like a bonus episode of like Melanie fucking up the language. Like, it would just be hilarious. But yeah. So, so our bookish origins, like, I know we're almost like running out of time, but my question for us would be, like, out of all of the characters that you read when you were younger, like, what is a character that you like held on to, or someone that like when you think about books, like you you want more of that kind of style or that kind of character?
I think Domenico, because that's just his history is so layered.
Yeah.
And so much has happened already in his short life, because I think in the beginning of the book's series he's 16 or something like that. What was the question again? I kind of forgot.
Like
because I was spidering like.
No, it's okay. So like thinking about him as a character, like you really like that he had like this substance. His background story was just so like intense.
Yeah, so saturated.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So much to think about, I guess.
And like when you read other books, do you look for that kind of thing in a character, or do you really like gravitate towards characters that have all this like baggage almost that's like on their back?
Not really. I think it's important to have your character have a set backstory, you know?
Yeah.
To not have someone in the book that's just called Hank or something.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why. That's the first name that popped into my mind.
It's okay.
But just like this name and what their hair color is or something.
Yeah, you don't want like a blank slate character. Like you need like substance.
Yeah, they have to have history and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Domenico sounds like a very interesting character. I think my favorite character from growing up, his name was Nathaniel or Nathan, and he's in the Sword of Truth series, and I have a character that I also named Nathan, and it's not an ode to that character, it's just that
kind of.
I just love that name, and that character has so much substance. Like, it's hard to describe who he is, but he's basically like the uncle. And he's a wizard.
Cool
yeah, he's a wizard that is they have him locked up. And he's been locked up for years. Because of the kind of magic that he weaves. Like they in that magic system, it's too dangerous. So they have him locked up, and he escapes, with a I think he escapes with like an escort, like a, you know, yeah,
an accountant.
Yeah, an accountant. And I think like he's just so like clever and charming, and like he's older, and he's so respectful of her. Like even though he's like escaping with this, you know, this accountant, he's treating her with such respect, and like he's able, with his money, he's able to fabricate money, like so he can just make money. And so he like takes her shopping and like makes her feel really good about herself, and then he ends up falling in love with her. And it's, I don't want to give too much away.
So cool.
Yeah, his story, his plot, like at the end of it, he's just a side character, just tiny little bloop in time. I cried so hard at his little story. It was devastating. Aww. And so like my goal as a writer is to create like side characters who are so impactful that it makes you feel like that, because there's no point in creating a side character that you're going to bring up multiple times if you're not going to give them something to like really attach to. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So man, read Sword of Truth if you guys like high fantasy, if you like multiple characters, if you like awesome semi-sex scenes, but like not really, but like kinda. Read that.
What's that called?
There's like dominatrixes. There are dominatrixes in that series, okay? And they're called Ward Sith, and they are hot as fuck. They're so, my heart.
Wait, is that called smut? Sometimes people read like those high romances. I think one is the Court of Silver Flames and Thorns or something.
Yeah.
No, I think they're called heated scenes or something. Steamy.
There are a lot of steamy like points in that book. Yeah, in that series in general, there's a lot of steamy stuff. Like they don't actually have like explicit sexual scenes, but it's enough to be like, whoo, that was hot.
Where you have to have a fan.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about like explicit sex scenes in a book? Like, I already know how we talked about the one.
The one.
The one.
The one.
The one. You know which one?
The one in the one last stop. No, that made no sense. But
the one in the one last stop. Yes.
We're talking in the one in the one last stop.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion about it. I'll just read it, I guess, but I'm fine with it not being in there.
I personally think if it's done correctly, then it's like, heck yeah, have it in there.
I'll rather have kissing scenes, I guess, because they're just a lot cuter. Like with the one from The Mermaid, the Witch, and the Sea.
Yeah. Like, no, I totally agree. Like, The Mermaid, the Witch, and the Sea, the kiss scene was so sweet and so impactful. And I think like a sex scene can be awesome, but a first kiss after a long drawn out, like, what is it? What do you call it? Like
time away?
The slow burn?
Oh, yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
That gets your heart going.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that I'm sorry, I keep bringing up my book, but I'm drinking and I'm...
No. Hey, that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I think, like, the kiss between my main character and their love interest, I'm really hoping it packs a punch. Like, I'm actually gonna send it to you tomorrow so you can read it. I hope it packs a punch because I do think that they have sort of a slow burn. And it's so interesting, like, some of my beta readers did not know who the love interest was going to be at all. Like, they kept pinpointing it was going to be someone else. And I was like, nah, she's not into that. She's into this.
I love how you're just so mysterious with it.
At some point, like when it's...
Just let people guess.
Yeah, no, I love that. I don't know how I'm going to feel like once it's done. Like, once the book is done, like, do I wait? Or do I just, like... I don't know. We'll see how I go about it. I'm
really excited to read it. I'm curious.
The other thing I finished Asher's story today. So...
Oh, cool.
I was thinking if you wanted, we could do another, like, little short story that we narrate. If you have time and want to do that. I'll wait to do that.
Oh, you can just go ahead.
No, I was thinking about waiting for you so we both post one. I can wait.
Oh,
I have to edit it and have you read it and that kind of thing. So whenever you're ready to do one.
Okay. I don't think we'll have to do it like together.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like it's not necessary. But if you want, I can cook up a story.
Okay, so another question in terms of our bookish origins. What are your favorite tropes?
I figured out what it's called just a couple of days ago, I think.
Yeah.
Found family is something that I really like.
Love that.
Yeah, because that's what I loved in One Last Stop too.
Yeah.
Like the roommates. That's my favorite, I think.
Do you have any other ones?
Yours. Oh, I don't know. I am really bad with names like that.
Yeah.
So I'll have to like really think. So I don't really know on the spot like right now.
Yeah. I think mine probably Found Family too. I also really love Friends to Lovers. I know people really gravitate towards like enemies to lovers or whatever, but I think it's so cute when characters that have like a bond or a friendship beforehand sort of find the love for each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's so much more interesting than just being like, ooh, this person's hot, I want to like get with them. I think it would be like you can have an attraction to someone, but maybe it's more like it's deeper than that. Like you care about the person, and so you develop this like really awesome friendship, and then through that friendship, like this like love forms. You know, I really love that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think I also love like forbidden love too. Like I think there's something really awesome about having someone that you like having a love for someone that you can't you can't show them your love because there's this like invisible line that says there's no way you can make it. Like there's no way you guys can be together. And I like that because it creates a lot of tension in a book. So those are mine.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Good choices.
Yeah. Like for example, like I'm probably spoilers if you guys aren't going to read Terry Goodkind, like this is one of the reasons why you probably should. In Sword of Truth, the main character, Richard, he falls in love with a confessor. And what a confessor is, it's a woman who, if she touches you, she like basically controls you. Like her power makes you want to do whatever she wants you to do. Like you lose who you are. You're no longer a human. You're just like basically like under her control. And
wow.
Yeah. And
that's crazy.
It's really awesome. It's super awesome. And so the confessor that he falls in love with, her name is Kalan, or Kaylin, I guess. Which is it's like my daughter's name, but I didn't know it. Just spelled differently, I guess. So Richard falls in love with Kaylin. I always called it Kalan for like the longest time. But anyways,
I do that too with butchering names.
Yeah. So. And like he obviously can't touch her because if he touches her, then he's gonna lose himself. And so there's a lot of like heated moments with them where they almost touch, but then they can't because of, you know, that thing. And it's just like, oh, the tension. I'm like, yes, the tension.
Oh, yeah, like kind of like the drum roll.
Yeah,
in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, so like that, but then that comes into play with like the forbidden love, right? Like people think forbidden love, it's like, oh well, you know, this person can't love this person because like their religion keeps them apart or something. But in that book, it's like different. Like the reason why they can't be together is because there's this unseen, like, you know, thing that can ruin Richard. And so Kaylin doesn't want to do that to him. Like she would never like want to hurt him. So it's just, I don't know. I think that's really powerful. Like when you look at it in a different perspective, like how you can use that in writing and in stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've had too much wine, Lizzie. Like I'm over here like going off on
vibing.
I'm vibing.
If you're still here, then thank you so much for listening to us ramble.
We really, really appreciate it. Obviously with our topic today, we were kind of all over the place because when it comes to origins, it like touches on like what we're currently reading and what we like to read and like what our interests in. So thank you guys so much for having patience with us and dealing with the awkwardness that is our duo.
Yeah, and let us know in the comments like what's your book that you really enjoyed as a child or as a teenager. Because I think that's really interesting to know.
Yeah.
And also, do you know of any books that we were talking about? And do you love them?
Yeah.
Or do you hate them?
Oh.
Let us know.
And are you what kind of reviewer are you? Like I would love to know that too. Like do you review books or are you like kind of like me where you only review them if you like them?
The ones with long paragraphs?
Yeah.
Or like one sentence?
You lay it out on them.
I see that a lot on Goodreads. Some people have like paragraphs of review.
They're ready for it.
And then other people that are just like BRB crying or something like that.
I love those. Those are my favorite.
Yeah. I love them too. They're awesome.
Yeah. Please like and subscribe to our channel. You can also listen to us on Spotify and other places. I can't currently listen because I can't remember. Please follow us on Instagram. We're trying to be pretty consistent. Like Lizzie does such amazing photography. We have templates that you can use, and you know we're always doing a little something different there, depending on the day and the topics that we're covering. So yeah, our Instagram handle is
The Book Fairies Pod.
The Book Fairies Pod.
We also have a Twitter, which is Book Fairies Pod, and then we have Gmail, which is thebookfairyspot@gmail.com.
Right, and
which you can bother us on any day.
Yeah, you can bother us there. You can send us a short story that you'd like us to read. If you're an up-and-coming author, please let us know if you want us to review your book. Again, like I said in the last episode, we don't have like infinite funds, so we can't just buy your book. Like, if you want us to review it, please like send us like an ARC or something. We are totally willing to do that, and if we don't talk about it on the podcast, at least we'll like take pictures and put it on our Instagram feed. Yeah, thank you so much for listening in today.
Ta-ra!
Bye. I have been doing podcasting for like forever, and I think I'm just too awkward of a person. I don't know how to deal with it.
I'm still like, how do I end this shit?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think like some people have that like confidence to be like, okay, end, and we're like, end.